In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to properly place your left hand in first position on the violin. If you haven't seen my last video about how to pick up the violin, I'm going to link it down below. Hi, I'm Ariadna and welcome to Mindful Strings, where I help you learn the violin on your own time and build a sustainable and consistent practice routine that fits into your busy life. If you're ready to improve in as little as 15 minutes a day, let's get started. Once you've watched my video on how to pick up the violin and you're ready to go, we're going to start right here. Violin up in playing position, and my left hand is going to be up on the shoulder. Now, I want you to line up your first row of knuckles with this top edge of the violin shoulder, like so. Keep your wrist straight. Rest the thumb on the other side, kind of opposite the index finger. You can see this little curved part of the neck of the violin. That's where the thumb is landing. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep the shape of the hand intact, and you're going to slide it all the way down the fingerboard towards the scroll. While you're doing that, make sure that the weight of your head is resting nicely on the chin rest, so that if you wanted to remove your arm, you could do that. So you're not at this moment relying on holding the violin with the arm, and you can slide the hand and not squeeze it between the thumb and the index finger at all. So as you slide it down, you're going to run into the curve of the scroll here. That is a physical mark for where your hand should stop. What you should be looking for from the front is this second knuckle of the index finger lining up with the very bottom of the fingerboard that is called the nut. Thumb is vertical, opposite the index finger, straight wrist. We don't want to collapse the wrist, and we don't want to stick it out. It's very important to pay close attention to your wrist, because not only do you want it to be straight from this view, but you also want it to be straight from this view. So you don't want to be doing anything like that. One of the main issues that violinists face with the left hand, especially beginners, is squeezing the neck too tightly when pressing down the fingers on the string. To avoid that altogether, I would strongly recommend that before you even play anything, you practice this one thing. Instead of just holding the violin between the thumb and the index finger this way, I want you to find this spot on your hand, which is kind of like the inside of the first knuckle on the hand, and your first finger is going to be pulled back a little bit, creating a tiny bit of a shelf there. When the neck of the violin rests on that spot and the thumb is just allowed to move lightly on the side, when you go to press down, you're not going to be doing it against the counter pressure of the thumb. So what happens here is that when you press down, there has to be something resisting the pressure. Our hand is designed for this grabbing motion, same issue that we run into when we work on the bow hold. So if you can practice having your thumb gliding lightly, like so, and then press down with the second finger first, feeling the counter pressure from over here, while continuing to move the thumb lightly on the neck. This is your test to check that this muscle is not working too hard. If you're just starting out, you may feel some fatigue in your shoulder here. So just take a break, let the muscle rest a little bit. Pretty quickly, within the first week or two, you're going to be able to hold the violin up for longer periods of time. So here we are. Now I'm starting with the second finger because it's a little bit easier to do it with the second finger. So here you are, gliding the thumb, pressing down. And don't worry about where on the string you are and what note you're going to play. That doesn't matter right now. This is just a preparation exercise. Then try the third finger. Then try the pinky. And then you can try the first fingers. In the beginning, what makes sense is to find the finger that you are most comfortable doing that with. So you're checking for a straight wrist, you're checking for an index finger that's slightly pulled back towards the bottom of the fingerboard, lining up that knuckle with the nut, thumb that is not pressing, and feeling the neck of the violin with this little part. It's subtle, but pretty powerful. Let's walk through it together one more time. Violin goes up. Weight of the head rests on the chin rest. Your hand is on the shoulder of the violin, knuckles lined up with the edge, thumb resting on the other side. You're going to keep the wrist straight and move the hand down. The hand maintains its shape from the very beginning. You're going to make sure you find the little shelf, and you can remove your thumb, wiggle it around, and then place it back on the neck. Now, you don't want to practice with it sticking out, because very often when the thumb is not on the neck of the violin at all, you're actually still tense. You're just holding it out in the other direction as opposed to pressing it into the neck. So it's gliding lightly, and then you press down second finger, move around the thumb, press down third finger, move around the thumb, press down pinky, glide the thumb around, press the index finger down, and move around the thumb. And there you have it. That's a great beginner exercise, but it's actually a good exercise if you've already been playing, if you struggle with tension in your left hand, particularly the thumb. Most tension in the hands actually comes from the thumb gripping too much. I have also put together a free lesson, the link to which is down below. If you want to get better in just 15 minutes, go ahead, check it out. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or requests on what I should talk about next, please drop me a comment down below. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, write me a little violin emoji. Happy mindful practicing, and I'll see you next time.